better. You've seen the ups and downs of that for the last half century and where it went to, what kind of legislation came, not positive, mostly negative, and how finally you got the judgment that the US Supreme Court gave. Now, you are circumventing all that. Of course, there is a lot of, let's say, feeling in this, a lot of felt, experiences in those. Nobody is discounting that. But if you do gain something out of this, that's a big positive. Because, I mean, there are so many processes outside of what we can speak in this country and in society generally, that these gains are also not to be belittled. Now, if you're likely to get it, I mean, just sit back and think what you're gaining.
Yes.
And then if you are still pushing ahead and you want that declaration, we will have to examine it. And even this closure or whatever, if this happens, I mean, this is completely, please let me complete. There is no closure. What I'm saying is, if there is some quietus to this at this stage, don't see this as the end of the battle or whatever your movement is. Because ultimately, whatever your movement for equal recognition of equality of, that would always remain. And even if these, whatever you get, the positive part of it, even if you don't accept this or partly accept this, now that too will not be the end for whatever you are going to do. One is speaking generally, not in any manner prejudging it.
My lords, in Obergefell and in America, the experience was that after Obergefell, when the Supreme Court gave its broad and firm declaration, the council for the parties then sat with the government, with the administration, and went through each law. And each department sat with them and they went through each law. I'm told it's 710 laws or something, and then sat down line by line and sorted out post the declaration in Obergefell.
But that was a different kind of, let's say, working out, because they had to work out what was unconstitutional. Oh, we are literally putting the alphabet together.
Yes.
That much harder.
But my lord,
And even Malad,
And not
there are good
not only
reasons in
mere
the
laws,
minority
there were
views also.
constitutions. There were constitutions which had to be invalidated.
But my lords, the only thing I will say
In
is that
fact,
we as
in
a
Malad,
jurisdiction,
this
we-
judgment my learned friend is relying upon,
we as a
there were
jurisdiction,
restrictive
constitutional-
statutes which came before the Supreme Court.
But we as
Some
a
states had
jurisdiction-
Now, Mr. Solicitor, coming
My
back
lord-
to your submission, let's get on with that in
that's
another
right.
10 minutes. We'll put the
Yes,
next
yes,
batsman
we'll
in,
deal
and
with
I believe the
Yeah,
next
Malad,
batsman will be learned
Malad,
batsman.
only one request Malad, to the other side. While giving the suggestions, Malad, I would request them not to give jurisprudential ideas, etc.
No, not at all.
Only-
That's for us.
Of course not.
Only
Again, a third
factual
category.
problems
Obviously.
which can be addressed by the
Jurisprudential is for this
administrative
side, but
ministry.
not that side.
There's no delegation of the judicial power of the court.
Yeah, yes. That's all. There can never be, Malad, there can never be. A lot of shoulders are the strongest, Malad. But it may not happen, Malad, that the committee doesn't understand what the issue is. Let it be as simple as possible. That's all.
legal training.
Mr. Solicitor,
Make it very
we've
specific.
now heard your submissions. We are now almost at the wrap-up point of your submissions. The jurisprudence which we have considered, and your line of submissions, I think there is an area which, even according to your submissions, then that the court can go into, namely to recognize that same-sex couples would have a right to cohabit together, and cohabit together in a normal, peaceable environment in our country without any form of discrimination, either societal or otherwise. Step two, that the government would, as we now see from your very fair suggestion that the Cabinet Secretary, no less than the Cabinet Secretary would be going to it, would be recognizing the incidence of that cohabitational relationship. So we can certainly build upon